We've been living in volatility for about 6 years now. The theme of this video is all about responsiveness and the impact of AI on a company's ability to respond. First, it was COVID, then tariffs and various supply chain disruptions, artificial intelligence, which continues to evolve, and the daily fly in the ointment is the Iran conflict and the closing of the Strait of Hormuz. So when leadership goes out to teams and says, where are we exposed? What are the impacts and what are we going to do about it? They are increasingly impatient if the answer is, let me get back to you in 5 weeks. The reason why companies have to get back to them in 5 weeks is because their operational processes, the data stores, aren't tightly controlled in core systems of record, largely ERP. Maybe planning lives in Excel, maybe there are outside systems that are supporting the process or even manual processes. When things are going regular run rate, steady course, those processes can work, albeit inefficiently and with people power. But if a company has to change course and has to present reports that are outside of the standard, that's where we start to see the bottlenecks and the impacts. And typically when we have that type of requirement, it's because there's urgency. And so companies really need to think about what it's going to take for them to align their processes and their systems. Look, when we have disruption, when there's volatility, the competitors who are able to course correct are the ones who are going to end up winning out in the long run. And so many companies are running legacy systems. In some cases, those systems are good enough. They just have not been updated and optimized in a way to allow companies to continue to systematically control. In other cases, companies have outgrown their systems and have busted at the seams. So the question is, of course, what's the best way for you as an organization to handle volatility? What do you do about your supply chain? What do you do about your operations? And ultimately, what do you do about your business system? The starting point for many companies is really understanding organizational design and governance around this stuff. Do you have the right processes, people, committees in place to effectively steer these issues and make changes? It's one thing to say, what are the impacts? How are we going to change? The next step in the evolution is to say, I'm going to commission a committee that is responsible for overseeing the organizational impacts and the changes that we need to put into place to make sure we have a model that allows us to be flexible, that allows us to be responsive to leadership demands and organizational demands. And so once that organizational design, once that governance model is set up, companies are going to be put into a fairly good position to make the right decisions. Perhaps your systems are good enough, but perhaps they haven't just been kept up. So now how do you get into a continuous improvement cycle that says, well, we're going to fix the core and we're going to optimize processes and we're going to make sure we're going to be able to continuously do so to respond and to have an agile organization. Perhaps in other cases, it demands a much bigger change and a much bigger project to do so. So again, we've got a lot of great content that's covering this theme of responsiveness, of how to handle supply chain disruptions, and to how to prepare your organization to adopt the wonderful capabilities that the vendors are releasing, both in standard functionality and now in terms of artificial intelligence, whether it's at the agentic layer or really building out that Industry 4 capability that is going to link your operating and operational technologies with your informational technologies with an AI layer over the top, providing a measure of control. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on LinkedIn. We've got guides and reports, and we're going to post some of those in the comments here.